What is going on, all you amazing viewers to play later? How we doing today? Whoo, we got an interesting one for you today, but first, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time it is when you're watching this video right here. Hopefully your dice are rolling good for you. You're having some great paint sessions. I don't know, maybe you kit bash something awesome. Show it off, be proud, have some fun. But, to get to the meat and taters of this video finally, right? As you know by that thumbnail, everything else you clicked on to get here today, Trench Crusade is finally here on the channel. Whoo! Alright. I know, just big box, but still. Now, I'd seen some tweets about it. I'd seen some random stuff about it. I really didn't pay attention. Until I saw its Kickstarter went over $3 million. I think it set worldwide records for like the fastest back, most money raised, blew things out of the water, and I went, all right, let me take a look. If you're unfamiliar with what it is, here's about the best way I can describe it. It's a tabletop miniature war game set in a fantasy, for lack of a better phrase, World War I era. Okay, keep with me here, keep with me. The way I understand the lore, way back when, during the first crusade on Jerusalem, the Knights Templar, and I don't know why they've always got to put all the bad shit on the Knights Templar. Okay, seriously. Whatever's bad in any universe, whatever, it always falls on the Templar. Found a temple of the Antichrist, and went, what could happen? Supposedly they swore off their oaths to God, took up arms for the demonic thing down below, trying to purse words so, you know, the algorithm doesn't dox me and all that fun stuff. And it opened a portal to hell on the planet. So there has been a war, basically God against the devil, on Earth since the Crusades. That's the easiest way I can put it. And that made me go, huh. Especially reading more of the lore, like the Vatican has a space program. Demons invented submarines. Okay. I like the fact you can go to trenchcrusade.com, I believe it is, and you can download everything you need to play right now. They've got the playtest rules out there. They've got faction rules. They got mercenary rules. They've got the sheets. They got everything you need to get off the ground and get going. So that made me go, okay, cool. Because from what I understand, everything for in the Kickstarter campaign should be fulfilled during the summer of 2025. And then they're going to open up stuff for purchase. All right. That's the big, huge background. I screwed up. Anywho. We're going to have to pause this real quick for a word from our unofficial sponsor.
So there I was, 23 years old, prime of my life. I woke up one morning, looked in the mirror, and my hair was thinning. It was all falling out. It wasn't until I discovered this one solution that changed everything. My first initial thought was, it's got to be genetics, right? It's not my fault. This is genetic. Go and find out. I'm not the only one dealing with thinning hair and confidence issues. And it was nuts because we started to change everything in our routine.
We started looking at what we were putting in our bodies, what we were eating, how much water we were intaking, and then we started working out and taking care of ourselves, but still something was missing.
But also what we put on our body is drastically important to our skin and hair health. So we ditched all of those chemical filled products. We started using healthy, organic ingredients and took it upon myself to start creating these organic ingredient products to help people. I have a solution for you. Ditch all of those chemical filled products and grab something that's organic, natural, handmade, something that your family will thank you and your health will thank you. Make the switch today.
Great man, great company, seriously. Click that link down below. Sorry I didn't do the usual, gotta get the adulting out of the way before we can play, because I'm that, just like, wow. I have been blown away by the lore and everything else for this game, so I kind of got ahead of myself. The only downside for me is I don't have a 3D printer. So, number one, I got in way late, so I couldn't do any of the backing. Number two, STL files aren't going to do that wonderful for me because nobody that I know in my local area, and granted I haven't looked that hard, has a 3D printer. So I had to go out the eBay and Etsy route. Now, save the booze, the pitchforks, and the heretic talk. I know there's people out there going, those artificial miniatures. I get it, okay? But I want to paint some. I want to get familiar with stuff. I want to try to get color schemes down. I want to be able to play with rust and rust effects and that kind of fun stuff. So, okay. Well, as you know, got a box set. I should say we got 2 in because a while ago, I thought I ordered 2 different sets. I thought I ordered the base set that I need that has like the lieutenant that I have to have in every force I put on the field. And I really wanted the mechanized infantry dude with the heavy machine gun. And then the reinforcement phase. But no, I ordered 2 reinforcement phases. And for some reason, I don't know how I did this, I ordered from the same guy twice and paid more for the second order than I did for the first. But that's okay. So I have more things that I can add to my force. I can play around with paint schemes a little bit more and not worry about, I don't like that, how do I strip a resin miniature, and did I just blow X amount of bucks? So if you're looking for physical miniatures right out of the gate, if you know someone with a 3D printer, go to mymanufactory.com because I think they have the license for everything. Purchase your STLs, go get them printed. Or go the other way, go to Etsy and wait forever and a freaking day and hope they show up and you're happy with everything. Okay. The first set I got a spare helmet for the mechanized infantry. So of course, being, a wargaming player, you save all your bits, right? I didn't save the bases from the first one because I'll be honest with you. Those itty bitty little 25mm bases are almost ridiculous in my opinion for some of the stuff for New Antioch. Okay, my shock troopers have to be on 25mm bases. There's one guy kneeling down where most of his stuff is off the base, and I was taught everything needs to be on the base, but still. So I replaced them with G-Dub 28mm bases. Yeah. The first go round I didn't pay attention, and I have one of my sniper priests on a 32mm, but thankfully that I have a second one, I can get him back on a proper base. Alright. Now that all that's out of the way. So, the set I got, well I should say the second set, because I'm almost done painting the first set. Anywho, I got a Trench Cleric in there. And I like the artwork for him, where he has basically scripture all over his armor. The green armor will have gold scripture, and all the tassels will have like little black things all the way down, and liturgies and everything. So yeah, I think I'm going to go insane painting him, which is why I saved him for last. Biggest reason I went with New Antioch, to be honest with you, is sniper priests. This one has a submachine gun. So here's a guy who basically blinds himself and trusts that God will guide the bullet to where it needs to go. And the other thing, digging through the lore, they fire rounds that have metal from the crucifixion nails. So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, you're getting yeeted by a bald dude from 4 miles away with Jesus bullets. I gotta go with that faction. So I do have a second sniper priest on a proper base. This guy's on a proper base. Well, I should say 28mm. Sorry, I know there's fanatical about 25s and everything, but still. So I have another one that I can paint, and yeah. And I got 4 shock troopers. The one in the first set, I have him in the kneeling position. This one, it's like he's upright, just laying down some fire. Which I like with the bar, the Browning automatic weapon. So, okay. A little bit different from the first set to the second set. Got a guy kneeling, yeeting a grenade where he's got a submachine gun. And he's also carrying extra rounds for the bar. So, okay, the alternate gunner. I'm okay with that. guy standing with submachine gun. From what I understand, in your shock troopers, only 2 can have submachine guns. So, okay, I've got those out of the way, right? And the dude that I absolutely love, he got a shock trooper with his Zweihander, I believe it is, sword. So here you have a guy running in a battle with a big-ass sword that he's like two-handed going, let's go! And if you look at this one compared to the other one I have, the casting was a little, but still, I'm good with it. You get 2 mechanized infantry. You get one with the big old polearm. And I will be honest, I thought these things were robots. Until I read deeper into the lore, and these guys are chemically altered human beings that have grown and put inside these wonderful little machines. Whew, that's got to be a bear having a furnace on your back the whole time. But still, you know? And I believe they called this guy a mechanized infantry with a trench club and a shield. Okay, so that's what you're going to get when you buy that second reinforcement wave. That's all 8 of the miniatures that are going to come with that. Now, seeing how I said I got 2, all right, and I'm trying to come up with a name for my guys, so they're the first of the 501st Foxtrot November Golf, the beeping new guys. So I really wanted one, and of course this was the first guy I painted, before I really dug into the lore and basically everything is in a sandy area. I'm thinking to myself, trenches, France, World War I, everything is muddy. I wanted it to be kind of wintertime, so I laid down some snow and some weird tufts. So I wanted one guy to be like right off the line. Like he's just joining fucking new guys. One thing that I did, because I thought, like I said, these were robots. I'm not too sure if you can see it really well. The trench club comes with the longinesses down there, which were the additions to help bolt it to the wooden thing. And I thought, if he's a robot, why are you going to put wood in his hand? So I just made his trench club all metal. I got inspired for the red helm for New Antioch and the shoulder pad from some artwork that I had seen. And I really, really liked that. So I just transposed like the big stripe right down the front. I'm going to do something different on the second guy with some sponge work. I've got a whole bunch of stuff running through my head. So I went with my usual AK Interactive Muddy Earth with a Agrax Earth Shade Wash. Just stippled down some Valhalla Blizzard and got some Tundra Tufts, I think they were. But like I said, everything I've ever seen for these guys, they're rusty, they're broken up. I wanted one in my force to be like a new guy. Okay. So, I turned around and painted the second guy. And yeah, I know the lighting. Yeah, it's not doing much better, sorry. So the second guy I did, I stippled some rust on there. Seeing how I just got in a bunch of rust stuff from the Army Painter Warpaint Fanatics. And I went, okay, I want to try this out. Where like for his chainmail thing down there, I just basically coated it with the rust and dry brushed chainmail or bolt gun metal, whatever, over the top to give it that rusty chainy effect. I tried to give it rust in certain other areas, which basically I used dark rust, and I didn't like the way it looked. It looked like brown camo trying to bleed in there. So I had to go back to the original rust from the original Army Painter, their, oh God, I can't remember what they called it, but it was rust effects paint. And I kind of stippled some of the orange in the middle. So, okay, now I got some rust in certain areas. And for his basically polearm, I used the blood effects and just kind of splashed some over there. And yeah, I added in some of the razor wire. And I did one thing that I hadn't done before. Normally, I'll super glue it down. But I've seen where people are putting down the texture paste for the earth, and then pressing it in there and letting it dry. So I did it that way, and it's held on pretty good so far. So I like the look of it, you know. And I'm going to show you one of the force that I did for my original New Antioch guys. Well, the original package that I bought. I went with like the greens and the browns, even though I know like the pants have a lot of green on there. I I went looking back at a lot of World War I stuff, and not a lot of uniforms that I could see were one tone. So I like that. I like the fact that New Antioch is like the biggest line of defense for the papacy on the planet. You know, they built it right over Old Antioch, which so makes me go, how did Old Antioch blow up? Was it a demonic atomic? You know? I have to give Jay from Eons of Battle credit for the weapons. I had a thing where I was using bolt gun metal and going over it with no and picking out with Ironbreaker. But when I saw his videos where he's using, mother effer. Now I can't remember the name of the damn paint. Rattling Grind. Just strict contrast of Rattling Grind. I really liked how it turned out. So that's what I've been using for all the medals. Like on the little potato masher grenade right there and the sword handle on the back. I don't know. I like this. I like the fact that it's growing. It's interesting. I find it weird that I found a Facebook group and I asked for the Discord for Trench Crusade. And I got there and it's like you have to have backed the Kickstarter to be able to have access to it at this point. Which makes me go, huh? But okay. I haven't played any games yet because I don't have a legal force. I have really, really enjoyed painting these miniatures. The red effects from my guys are simple, like a Wyvern Fury, Known Oil, and then a dry brush of Vampire Red over the top. I really wanted to be like a U.S. Army olive drab for the armor, so I built it up through 6 shades of green with a military shade wash from the Army painter. You don't need a lot of miniatures to play, which I think is great. I like the fact it's just 6-sided dice. You roll and like 1 to 4 is bad, 1 to 5 is bad, 7 to 11 is really, really good, you hit, and 12 is like devastating, something like that. Just don't quote me, I haven't played a lot of games, I haven't totally gotten into the rules, I'm enjoying the lore and painting figures at this point. I like the fact they have mercenaries. I really like the fact of this Red Brigade that's coming out. It's got me really interested. It's rare that something comes along and just grabs you and is like, wow. Reading a couple sentences from the lore, I was like, okay, I'm hooked. But still, I know, this one's starting to get a little long, so I'm going to reel myself in. We're at the best part of the video. Seriously, we really, really, truly are. I want to know your questions, comments, love, hatred, and anger. All that fun stuff right down below. Are you currently doing Trench Crusade? If you are, what faction are you playing? Me, I like the lore from New Antioch. I just really do. Ordinary humans are basically fighting against the forces of hell. I thought that was cool. I mean, there's just so much weird stuff in here. Like the Metacrists, the Communicants. There's a lot to unpack, and we will be unpacking it as I get it in and go over it and get them painted up, have some fun with them. Because like I said, I do have a mercenary thing coming in, and the Watchers, the Trench Cleric, and just like the Communicant with the anti-tank gun, I think it is. Okay. I am like, wow. Yeah, but still, I want to know, are you playing? If you are, how do you feel the game flow works? Do you think this is going to be something that's going to be hanging around long term, or they just caught lightning in the bottle and they're going to peter out? I really would like to know. Now, best way to support the channel is hit that big old thumbs up and drop a comment right down below. Both of those help trigger the algorithm, which is always appreciated. But there we go, guys. Trench Crusade, New Antioch has landed here on the channel. I want to thank you guys for watching this one. Hopefully you're having a great day today, a safe day today. And Emperor willing, one day we'll be rolling dice across the tabletop.